Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Broku, and welcome back to another video. And welcome to a What If, my first ever My Hero Academia What If All Might gave Bakugou one for all. I really hope you guys do enjoy my first ever My Hero What If, and if you guys have not seen My Hero Academia yet, go to Verve or Funimation and be sure to just start watching it. And if you don't have those things, I already know a bunch of people are going to probably put in the comments a anime pirate websites so you can watch it there as well. But anyways, it would mean so much if my first ever My Hero Academia could get to 1,000 likes. I know it's going to be hard because that's not my regular content, but maybe after a few months, after it gains some momentum, maybe it'll get 1,000 likes. But anyways, guys, also subscribe, and if you have not yet, if you want to be notified for every time I upload, be sure to turn on notifications. But anyways, as you guys know, the quirk that is passed down one for all is a quirk that lets the user store power, and essentially gives the user insane powers, including super speed, fast reaction time, insane durability, and strength. So All Might was actually quirkless before getting one for all, and then now out of Prime, All Might can still travel at a minimum lowball of 350 miles per hour. And it is also stated and implied by All Might that if he gave one for all to someone who already had a quirk, not only would they get the basic powers of one for all, but it would drastically amplify the powers of their current quirk as well. He even said if he passed down one for all to Bakugou, he would already be a superhero, which I interpreted as is that he would be a pro immediately, which really would make sense if just the air pressure from All Might's punches can destroy city blocks. Imagine that air pressure or the actual explosion off of one of Bakugou's hands amplified by one for all. He could likely destroy a city, or even more, so he would need to be very careful whenever he used his power. But now let's get to the divergence in this timeline. Where could this happen where somehow All Might passes down one for all to Bakugou instead of Midoriya? So we're going to go back towards the very beginning of the show, and just replacing Bakugou and Midoriya when that weird goop monster had them trapped. Midoriya would be screwed at this point, and he's the one who's actually trapped by the monster. And just like in the show, many of the pro heroes just don't move. It's as if they were frozen because they felt helpless. But a Bakugou sees his former friend trapped by the monster. Now we do know Bakugou's arrogant self, but still, he's on the path of a hero. And what better way to show off your powers and your quirks than saving someone? So Bakugou rushes towards Midoriya and tries saving him. Now just like in the show, Bakugou's explosions would not be enough to get rid of the monster.
I'm gonna send you back to whatever sewer you crawled out of! Let me go!
You've got so much power. I really hit the jackpot.
But it would be just barely enough to motivate All Might to rush in and finish the monster off.
I have to do something, no matter the cost.
With this, All Might finally figures out who will be entrusting with this great power and decides to endow Bakugou with the amazing power of one for all. Now don't worry, Midoriya's story does not end here as you might think, as Midoriya would do anything to be a hero, and there's still room for him to grow. But this will definitely focus on Bakugou for most of this What If. So now, we know that Bakugou is a very strong and very smart fighter and knows how to use his quirk very well. He uses his quirk to fly, to bounce from things to things, and just makes massive explosions. And he's even made an explosion that nearly destroyed the stadium. He's destroyed buildings. So imagine that amplified with one for all. He would easily surpass the entrance exams, basically with no difficulty, and he would show just how powerful he is. Most of the students would be very shocked and scared of him, and Bakugou would actually far outsurpass even the likes of Todoroki, who is a very good hero or training hero in his own right. Now this also brings the question of, could Bakugou actually use a higher percentage of one for all than Deku? As we know, Deku can only use up to about 5%, then to 8%, and then he goes beyond that later in the story. But currently in the anime, he's about able to use 5% without hurting his body. And I actually do believe that Bakugou could use a higher percentage than Midoriya could from the beginning, and that is based off a few reasons. One is he already has a quirk, which shoots explosions out of his hand, and that might make his body ready for the quirk. And his body also looks much more fit and much more stronger than when Deku first received All Might's power. And as we can see, Deku early on can use this power, but only in small doses as it completely disfigures the body. But he's eventually able to use that at 5% without hurting himself, and while Bakugou, we're going to say that he can use 10% of it before it can hurt him. If he goes beyond 10%, it'll hurt him, but he can still use 10%. So not only does this just make Bakugou a unstoppable beast, he'd be twice as strong as Midoriya when he uses 5%, but also he'd have his explosions, which would also be amplified by One For All, and yeah, just Bakugou's gonna be a savage here. And this sets up for towards the end of Season 1, when the League of Villains attack UA and attack the heroes that we come to know and love. But when the League of Villains attack, Bakugou, with extreme confidence as he has amazing abilities, would rush in and be the main defender of his peers and students, and even the pro heroes that are his teachers. Bakugou, amplified with One For All, would be able to easily defeat most of the League of Villains single-handedly. When it comes to Nomu, Bakugou would put up in a pretty decent fight, but still, with Nomu's shock absorption, he would be not really have a chance at defeating him with just One For All. But Bakugou did not want to destroy the school, so that's why he was not using explosions very much. Well, that's what a normal hero would think, but this is Bakugou. With Bakugou only be able to access 10% of his power with One For All, he would see himself losing in the battle, but in his last-ditch effort, Bakugou would reach out his hand and let off a controlled explosion. Now, if let loose, this explosion would incinerate nearly a city block, but Bakugou was able to condense it into a much smaller, more directed blast, but with nearly the same force. With this completely ripping off Nomu's head, Nomu would be dead, and the League of Villains' main attack dog would be down, which would really limit the power of the League of Villains, and this would also lead the League of Villains rushing away to escape, as their plan was completely ruined by the amazing power of Bakugou. Now I also want to explain Bakugou killing Nomu. People can say, oh, an explosion wouldn't kill him. Well, Endeavor was able to incinerate the head of a Nomu, basically the same type of Nomu that All Might thought. So if Bakugou can explode the head off, then that would actually kill him. Now, as we know, when the festival came by, there was a bunch of different tests and tribulations to get to the actual final tournament, which was a 16-man roster. Now, if Bakugou, without One For All, could get through the first stages and end up winning the actual fighting tournament, well, imagine what he's going to do with One For All. And also, since All Might gave One For All to Bakugou, he still did the training with him, just like what Midoriya got when he trained with All Might for like 10 months to be able to get the quirk passed down to him. So just imagine everybody that Bakugou would fight. He would absolutely destroy them. In fact, Bakugou could likely defeat every single buddy in this tournament while just using One For All. He probably would not even use the explosions, because if he used 10%, which is far further than what Midoriya could use at the time, and Midoriya almost beat Todoroki, then imagine what Bakugou would do with twice that power. So Bakugou pretty much easily becomes the winner of this tournament, as he effortlessly takes down the Shadow and Todoroki in the tournament. And also when it comes to the villain of Hero Killer Stain, the insane, super powerful villain with an interesting quirk of once he cuts somebody and he tastes their blood, he can control them or make it so they can't move. Well, since Midoriya is not going to be part of the equation, we have to replace him with Bakugou. So it'd be Bakugou, Todoroki, and Ida taking on Hero Killer Stain all at the same time. And honestly, Bakugou probably would not even need the help of Todoroki and Ida, but they'd be there. And I really don't know if Hero Killer Stain's sword would even be able to slice through the power of Bakugou, who would be much stronger than Midoriya. I mean, if explosions don't make All Might bleed, why would a blade cut through Bakugou? I don't think that would happen, and because of that, Hero Killer Stain would never get to control Bakugou, which therefore, Bakugou would defeat Hero Killer Stain. Now, with Bakugou's character being very aggressive, and seeing that one of his friend's brothers nearly being killed by Hero Killer Stain, Bakugou would probably almost kill Hero Killer Stain, but would probably need to be held back by Todoroki, or Todoroki would just lift up Hero Killer Stain's body with the ice and just get him away from Bakugou. So now this what if has basically led to towards the end of Season 2, where we'll be picking off where in the final exams for the semester, Bakugou and Todoroki have to team up against All Might, just like in the anime, except it's instead of Midoriya and Bakugou, it's going to be Todoroki and Bakugou, which makes a very interesting setting. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this what if. Do you think it's dumb? Do you think Bakugou would be this strong, or would he not be this strong? Let me know down below what you think. So please do leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down below, subscribe if you are new, turn on notifications, join my Discord, and follow me on Twitter. And thanks to all my Patreon supporters. So my Super Saiyans is Hodag Hunter, and my Super Saiyan 2s, Darius, Israel Flores, Locke, Anime Paradox, and Mystic Ghoul. And also thanks to my Super Saiyan 3s, Scotland Serenity, Diraj Payton, Sin Overlord, and Griffin Jacob. And thanks to my new Super Saiyan, Danielle Toro, my new Super Saiyan 3, Dante's Ware. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It really does mean a lot, and I hope you guys all have an amazing day.